Hi everybody, today's assignment is about drawing that lovable character named Pete the cat. We're going to use triangles and rounded shapes and straight lines and curved lines and colors to make Pete the cat. So, grabbing a pencil, I know that Pete's head in space is going to be about here. Triangle, triangle. I don't know why I said triangle twice, but then round up to that. Pete has a triangle nose. He has squinty oval eyes, kind of like squashed or football shapes. And then I put round eyes there. And Pete has some whiskers. I could wait to do that. And then Pete's back goes like this, and his tail comes up. And then his back legs. That's the one back leg. Now here's the other, his belly. Here's a leg. And then here's the other. So he's pretty simple to draw, but Pete has shoes. That's his deal, isn't it? He's always getting his shoes into something. So I'm having this shoe kind of behind this one. This shoe here. This shoe here. So you decide what color Pete's shoes are. Now, I've seen Pete be blue and his eyes be yellow. I've seen Pete look different ways. You can draw Pete the way you want to, but please use triangles, nose, ears, ovals for eyes, and then a straight line for the back, curved line for the tail. This is a horizontal line. Goes straight across. This is a vertical line. It goes up and down. This is a diagonal line. It slants. So, we can start to color these in. Do you remember the story when Pete stepped in blueberries and then it colored his white shoes blue? So I would use a blue crayon. Now, I remember Pete by being a blue cat. But I've seen him done different ways. So what I'm doing is just outlining Pete with a marker. And these dark parts filling in a little bit more. It's the insides of his ears. Surrounding his eyes. And then I can go over this with a black marker to make sure and ink all of this in. Lightly coloring in Pete, because with these markers I can use a brush and this color will blend, and then Pete will be nice and light blue pretty much throughout. I'm going to do all of Pete this way so that I can get this done at one time. Staying inside my lines if I can. And then straight line, curved line, just coloring that in. Just trace those contour lines again. Fill in Pete. There's my buddy Pete. Hi Pete, how's it going? Oh, this back leg I can make a little bit lighter. This front leg I could make a little bit darker to show it's in front of the other leg. That way it's not confusing. And so you could color in the background of Pete. You could put Pete in a situation or decide where Pete is in this picture using a big brush to fill this in. Blending this. If I use too much water, I'll create a puddle, so I'm trying to be careful to stay inside the lines. I'm using this pretty thin white paper, like you might have at home if you have drawing paper. And it might wrinkle up, and I'll need to let this dry before I can go back in with my yellow or any other colors. So there's basically most of Pete the cat. I will go back over this when it dries, so I'm going to pause this video. If you're at school, you'd probably use crayons to color in Pete, and that'd be a quick, easy, fun way to do this. And remember, if you use these shapes, you can make Pete in any direction. He could be facing the other way, that's fine. It doesn't have to be just like mine. I'd rather it's not. I'd rather you do your own thing. That way you learn how you want to draw Pete. So there's a quick version of Pete the cat, and he's blue. I need to decide what color his shoes are going to be. I think maybe red would look good with this. I know that these eyes will be kind of yellow and then black and the nose black, and I'm going to come back in a minute after this dries. See you in a few. Pete is close to drying, and I've colored the eyes in yellow, and I've done the shoes kind of reddish. I'm going to do those last because I don't want to smudge into them. And my paper's still kind of damp. Got a little bit of color on my hand, but if I'm careful, let's see, can I do it? I want to go up here, and you see I'm holding my paper so that I could go around it and it doesn't move, hopefully. And then I can draw in that area in Pete's ear. Drawing straight up, coming around that line. I'm straightening things up as I do this. When I draw this contour line in, it makes Pete looks a little more realistic or sharp or more like that cartoon that we've seen of Pete. Now, I didn't fill in all the white because I wanted a little bit of glare, kind of a realistic touch. I don't remember if that's in the book or not, but it kind of makes him look a little more friendly. And I didn't really draw slits for cat eyes because they kind of look fierce and kind of creepy sometimes, but Pete's a nice guy, we know. A fun and successful story about his shoes. He's a cool cat. So I'm coloring in this black because it's his nose, and his mouth would go this way. He has little chubby cheeks, and then I want to draw the whiskers. Something like that is fine. Don't forget this contour line, Mr. C, right there. And then just go ahead and go around his feet, draw his shoes, outline those. This is kind of a cartoon because you're outlining things. I mean, it's like a still from a cartoon. One scene from it. So coming around here, I'm just outlining the blue parts right now, but I want that line to go in front of that back leg. There we go. Shoes. Drawing this in front of that, and I can put details like shoestrings. Looks good. Now this vertical line, no, wait a minute, horizontal, Mr. C, it's side to side. This curved line, echo in the top of the curved line. And there we have Pete. Pete is ready to go into a background. I could cut him out, put him onto a background, or leave it this way. So today I've drawn Pete the cat. It kind of looks like Pete Puma, but you could put your name here. I'm writing Pete where I would usually put my name. But I'm looking at this. There are more things I could do to Pete. I could put a shirt on Pete, or I could put a hat on Pete, or I could draw trees in the background, or what have you. But here we go with my little version of Pete the cat. Draw me your Pete the cat. If you're at home, please send me a picture of this. I would like to see your version of Pete. Hope you enjoyed.